Okay, so welcome to part two. This is where we got to in the last session. A vending machine that dispenses, well, light at the moment, but we're going to change that. And I've got a coffee on the go. You don't need a coffee. Yeah, you do. You definitely need a coffee. I can see that. I'm probably going to get an ice cream after this. That'd be nice. Okay, so we're going to use the same technique to fill in the shelves. There might be a point where you decide that this is detailed enough for what you want, but let's build a new plane and start from there. So I'm just going to move the cursor to selected. No. See, already off to a bad start. Set origins geometry. And then we're going to move the cursor to selected. Create a new plane. This forward. Let's just see if let's try and get it roughly the right sizes. Let's bring that in. Okay, good enough. And then we're going to apply our vending machine material to it. And then see if you can guess what we're going to do. We're going to do a cube projection. Now, I've already made that mistake I told you about before, so apply that transform, and let's do it again. Let's do a cube projection. It's making lots of difference, but it just scales it more in proportion. And then we're going to bring this get everything we need in this shot. Okay, so potentially push that back a bit. That is everything you need for your game asset, and we could leave it absolutely there, but I think we're gonna, if it was a PS1 game, we would be done. But let's at least try and get into the PS2 era. So we're going to slice it up the same way that I've done previously. And there's a little raised lip there on each shelf. So let's just re-slice that. I think that could be cleaner. As you can see, it's a bit of perspective in the photo. There's always going to be a bit of perspective in the photo, which is kind of our enemy. I mean, I've got a lot of enemies, but for the sake of this exercise, this is my only enemy to deal with today. And just going to slice the sides there. Whoop. Work on a very tiny desk with no space for no obvious reason. I could tidy it, but I'm going to ignore these rounded bits for now. You can decide if you want them in or not, if you want to show off. So I'm going to select these faces. I'm actually just going to then select the inverse and delete these because we don't need them for now. And push these shelves back. Then if we extrude faces along the normals, Alt E. And then we'll just select these faces as well. Give it a little lip. And then if we just select these. So do UV, cube projection, and then let's see where they look good. Normally I would pick this metal here, but I think the lighting might be... it's kind of okay actually, but let's just try them up here. Yeah, I think that works better. It's got a different feel to it. And let's also do the same thing with these. The recurring theme with this kind of design is good enough. It's just got to be good enough to work, and you have to make decisions the whole time about where this is going to be seen, what angles you need to worry about. Maybe this is never going to be good enough and you're just going to use this to essentially rough out a model, and then you'll do a more polished version, full 3D model built on top of it, which is also something I played around with. But again, you know, we just built 3 nice textured shelves. Absolutely no bother. Okay, so now things are about to get a bit more difficult because we need to put some cans on it. So we're going to do exactly the same technique again. So we're going to make another plane. Shift A, mesh plane. Why is it? What happens when you hit the record key that you just forget how to do any of the things that you do? So scale these in. This doesn't actually matter how accurate we get them, but let's just... Okay, and then we're going to apply the vending machine material again. Same problem as usual. Control A, all transforms, UV, cube project. Scale it down. So this step is actually completely pointless, but I find it's helpful as reference for me for doing this next bit. So let's start by making a very simple can. So put the cursor there, and obviously the easiest way to make a can is to make a cylinder. So let's go, we don't be super high res, let's go 16 segments. Let's get out this shaded view. Scale it down. So we're going to line it up with the photo as best we can. It's not going to be perfect because it's perspective, but it doesn't. This is the thing, it doesn't need to be perfect. It's just got to be good enough. Okay, so let's apply the vending machine material, and then if we select this and UV projects from view, and let's just have another go. Let's apply the transforms first. Might not make any difference. No, doesn't make any difference. Scale it down. I'm going to bring it over the image to this black can. G and Y to bring it down. See if there's any obvious crazy distortion that we need to deal with, but I think on the whole. And then if we come out of this view, and let's just hide this for a second. And push this back on the shelf. We've got a passable can. It's projected it on in front and back the same, but you're never going to see the back, so it doesn't matter. Now, if we were going all in, we would find another image of a can and use that for the top. Maybe we'll do that. Just hold the line caller. This makes it a little bit more complicated, but let's do it. So we're going to need a second material for this. So let's create a new material. Can top. And then you need to assign this to the selected face. So if we now go to the base color, image texture, we load in our can top image. So if we now do a cube project on this one, you'll notice that it cube projects to match the size of the image, which can be annoying. So if I now change it to this, it's actually then scaled to that size. So I'll bring that down. And there you go, a drinks can. Again, very low poly, but it works. You know, pointy shading. And we could do a bit of bump mapping on this, as we've done before. Let's quickly do that, in fact. getting a bit sidetracked into this, but hey, if something's worth doing, it's worth doing right. So all of these things will help sell it as being more high poly than it is. So I'll add a bump node in. It's already a pretty black and white image, so I think we'll be okay. And then we just add that into the height and into the normal. That's a bit strong. It's going to be 0.2. And let's also do the same with the roughness. Bring up the metallic. You know, could be worse, couldn't it? Could be worse. So we made a can. Now we've just got to do this 1,000 other times. So I would like to select that can, and we'll go back to our, which one is our reference image? Planes, yeah. So we'll bring, should have named it, you see. Let's push that back there, so we've got that. So we're going to duplicate this, move it over. Move it over. Let's try and get a few done here. Okay, so exactly the same. Make sure that you are using the vending machine material, and switch back to, nope, not that one. So, okay, so select all of this, and then ignore this down at the bottom because that's dealing with a different thing. So it's calling different UVs on the same texture. So you just don't need to make any, literally all we need to do is drag and slide them into the right place. So we've got 3 done. Let's do, and you know, obviously we don't have to replicate this perfectly, but there's something wrong with me, so I feel like I do need to replicate it perfectly. So let's do these cans here, these cans here, this one, just Shift D. This might end up being a time lapse, but let's bring this one here and then lower the height down. So, same process again. I'm going to pick that up and just drop it on the can that you want. And maybe you need to rejig and rescale, but and you know, this feels like cheating because obviously it is cheating. Okay, so that's a smaller can. Move that over. Some kind of carrot juice. Canned carrot juice. Yeah, maybe not for me, that, if I'm honest. So let's drag that over. And actually, this is the same can. If you're really like obsessing about getting this right, let's just delete that. Okay, that. So you know, we've got these little 3D cans. And what I should have done is enabled. I think I have actually. Yeah, so I've got shade smooth on them. They're already doing their metallic thing. Looking pretty good. So this one is going to be here. It's up to you if it's quicker to duplicate it and move, or just, but you know, you're getting to a bit of a workflow. You'll see how stupidly quick and easy this all is. So I'm literally just selecting all the nodes and tracking it. Okay, so that's all of those cans done, and let's just quickly do these ones before we tackle some of the more difficult non-can type things. They're literally no more difficult. Couldn't be easier, but so just and just these two, make them taller. Okay, and then we're going to do exactly the same thing again. you can see how easy it would be to just create supermarket shelves, vending machines. I mean, that's what great imagination there, literally listing the thing you're making. Shop windows. It's a very easy technique to create. Yeah, can you imagine? I mean, to be fair, modelling one can by hand wouldn't take very long, but you got to texture it, pick all the images. Why not just make a photo do all of the work for you? Oh, ginger ale. Careful. We're nearly there. Let's one on this lot. How are we looking? So we just turn off our reference plane for now. Go into nicely shaded mode, have a sip of coffee. Look at this. Let's treat ourselves. Let's treat ourselves to a little render so we can see the glow effects whilst I have a sip of coffee. And I forgot to turn something off, so never mind. But you can see those cans when they're rendered and everything's reflecting nicely. Looking pretty good. Am I allowed to compliment myself during the process? Who knows? Okay. So let's turn on my simple shelves again. I don't want simple shelves on. Okay, so now we're going to do this bottle. So exactly the same process really. We're going to just set the origin to the geometry. And we're just going to scale it up a bit. It's very hot here today, and as a result my brain just seems to be failing to work at all. Okay, just make sure I've got top face selected. And I'm going to scale it down. Feel free, in fact I encourage you in the comments to post the thing that I do that annoys you the most in my workflow, because is it the way that I always rotate the wrong way around? That's annoying, right? I'm sure you've seen me do 50 other things that are particularly annoying, so hit me. Okay, so we're going to project from view as usual, and then go back to UV editing, and should have a nice bottle-shaped thing. I think we've got some extra vertices in there. Let's just, whenever you make a mistake like this, just not like this. This is, I don't know what. I literally don't know what I've done there. M to merge by distance. Nope, no vertices. So what's this fella about? Let's not worry about him. Let's put it over here and pretend it's nothing. I think it's the top of the bowl. That's exactly what it is. Okay, so we're going to scale it out. And we've got a bottle. Let's go back into speedy shading. Now I'm going to remove this because I'm not so worried about having the top of the can. So we just need to come out of that mode, remove that. Right. Let's bring this bottle onto the top shelf. It's annoying, it's so annoying the way I do that. And then we're going to do these ones. You know what I'm going to do. It's kind of point in showing you, but let's get that repetition in there. No, I'm working on the wrong model here. Bring that in. Exactly the same thing. Okay, so we've got one more here. Got a big tall can. It's a water bottle, which could be tricky, depending on how realistic we want to make it. I mean, hopefully you can do this in your sleep. So, okay. Let's take this as a starting point and do these 2 bottles of ketchup. Who knows? I'm not going to worry too much about getting these accurate, which is good because I've not got them accurate. Check the view. One bottle of ketchup. Not too bad, not too bad. And let's just see what's needed to get this roughly into shape. Close enough, I reckon. Okay, so we should have a full shelf now. So get rid of our reference plane. And I'm just going to join all these together, because I don't like having 1,000 loose objects. So just selecting them all by hand. That's probably quite annoying to watch as well. Set the origins to geometry, so it's tidied up, and then control V to join one object. Thus making that pointless. Let's reset that again. And then I think I'm going to duplicate this. And have them behind as well. Okay, so we're nearly there. We've got a vending machine with a glowing light in it, but it is quite obviously open at the front. So let's deal with that. Before we do the glass, don't look at this up here. That's not a thing. Before we do the glass, I would like to just fix another couple of things. So I'm going to delete this light because it's useless. Sounds like it wasn't useless, but we're going to drop an HDRI in. If you don't have easy HDRI, go and get easy HDRI because it makes things a lot simpler. So I'm going to just bring in one and fix world nodes because mine's broken and something's still broken. What's broken? Let's just make sure all of this is deleted. There we go. Oh, it's already on a train platform. Sorted. Nice. It's maybe a little bit powerful. Let's just bring that down a bit. Not much. Yeah, it's like there. Nope. Nope. Down, 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 down. Also, if you don't have denoising turned on, remind me where it is and then turn it on. Yeah, denoising in the viewport. So turn that on, and we can just set this to transparent. So, film transparent. Why did that not do anything? What is going on today? Actually, why is that doing this? There we go. I confused myself because I have a plane already in the shop. Okay, so let's make the glass. And this is unsurprisingly going to be a simple plane. So we'll use our backlight and we'll set the cursor to that. Make the plane at 39 degrees. Bring it forward, get it roughly to where it needs to be. Just check it's not sticking at the edge at all. That's very good to me. Maybe push it slightly inside the frame. Let's go with that. Okay, so to make a new glass, it's pretty straightforward. It's got a glass. So you just need to set the transmission to 1. And you can see it's frosted at the moment. That might be the effect you want, but you know, mysterious vending machines maybe not the one. So if you set the roughness down to 0, we've gone clear. Now you can see we've got this, like, it looks flat again. It looks, all of our good work is wasted, and that's to do with this index of refraction. So if you move it down, you can go crazy. You can create some really weird, trippy effects. I don't know why you'd want that. It's like almost an inverse mirror, is that a thing? And let's try it like that. So we've got some depth and some weird stuff comes on when you view it from the side, but that's looking better. Problem is, this glass is completely clear, and if you, like me, ever walked into a glass door because it's too clean, we don't want that. That's no good. So we'll go to the shader, and we're going to play around with this transmission roughness. So again, it dirties up the glass. So if we go search image texture, and we'll bring in this one. So if I put that into the roughness at the moment, there's not a huge amount going on. You can see where the imperfections are though. So that's giving an nice enough effect. You just can't really see it with the, oh there you go, from the side there. But if you want to play around with it a bit more, bring the colour around pin, and you could just bring in more, so more contrasting areas. So it's hard for the renderer to keep up with, but you can see, to move it across to get a kind of frosted effect on it. We could try making the glass dirty as well. I don't know if this will work, but let's try it. So let's bring in, let's try this one. It might be too much as well. It all depends on how like distressed you want your glass to be. Your vending machine could be pristine or it could be absolutely wrecked. Colour ramps are your friend here, because if you want less of it, you just move it over. Just got a bit of grime on it. Maybe it's too much, maybe it's more than you want, but I quite like it. Now obviously you could do so much to this. These could be cut out. We could do, in fact let's quickly do this because it's a cool little thing to add into your tool set. So if we wanted to make this panel on the front, you know how to do this already, but we can make it glow as well. Let's quickly go back into this edit view. And then we're going to put the good old friend vending machine material on it, and we're going to cube project. And it's upside down. Of course it is. There we go. Now, let's give it a tiny bit of depth. So let's screw it back. Bring it forward. Okay. Now, we're just going to duplicate this material. This is important. Now if we go to here, we've got all sorts of craziness going on that we don't need anymore. So let's just delete all of this. We just want to go back to the standard principal shader. Delete all of this stuff. Get rid of this. And all we want to do is connect this into the emission slot. And then we want to change the emission strength using the image as well. We're going to use a color ramp just for change, control that. So if we bring this into here, and you can see that we've got black and white, so we want to get this to a white, and that means more of the more white the image is, just controlling it, the more that is emitted. Okay, so if we connect that to here. So you can see we've got a bit of a glow going on. Maybe you want to make it stronger, so because at the moment it's between 0 and 1. So let's add a math node in here. Change this to multiply. Let's multiply by 10. Okay, see it's really glowing now. This is something you might not see until we render it out. Let's do a little render and we should get the glow node working on it. I'll just set my renders to 10-second limits to speed this up a bit. Okay, so I just calculate the glow afterwards. And you can see we've now got a little glowing display down there. Dead easy to do, super cool. I think we have made this too grimy, but hey, to it. Okay, so let's just do a dead easy sticker. So let's go back to quick mode. There's another, let's add an images as planes, texture, and I've got this sheet of stickers. Okay, so let's say you wanted to use this cool little tic-tac type sticker. So I'm literally going to go into edit mode, use the knife tool, and I'm just going to quickly cut it out. Okay, doesn't. So select that face, select the invert, delete all of those, and let's just set the origin to the geometry. And bring it into where we need it to be. Maybe you want a massive sticker. Might keep it quite big to show what's involved. Okay, it's looking a little bit flat at the moment, so what we're going to do is we're going to I don't know why it adds this alpha in. I'm sure there's a good reason, but I'm going to remove it because I don't know what it does. And then we're going to create another Musgrave. So that gives it that wobbly, ripply effect, which if we then apply it to the roughness, again it's kind of hard to see, but you can see it gives it like a little shininess in places as if it's raised. And we could also do that as a bump map. Things about to get pretty over the top here, but so that's maybe a little bit too ripply. Actually, you know, I don't hate it, but we'll go down to like 0.3. Here we've got a little shiny raised sticker. So you could do all sorts of stuff. You could put graffiti on the side of this. And yeah, so let's frame it up. Turn it into render mode. I think I'm going to call this done for this part. Let's treat ourselves to, oh, a little tip actually, because it's a sticker and it'll be flat to the surface, if you go to visibility and turn off shadow, it won't cast a shadow on the surface, it'll look like it's flat. I'm going to frame this in a more Instagram friendly because I want them likes. There we go, we've gone from... Oh, it's never easy, is it? Turned off my plane by mistake in the render view. I was aiming for a big finish here. Here we go, we've got a very simple vending machine made from a cube. One main photo, and then some additional photos. And this is where the fun starts. You just start picking things from different photos, and off you go. And it's so easy to knock up a bank of assets this way. Let's do a quick little... And you can tweak that material, do all sorts of stuff. So if you just want to make it slightly different, make some RGB in there. I mean, you probably could have worked that out, but... And then you've got a street full of vending machines. They look different enough if you moved around the scratches and the textures on the glass. I think you'll have a pretty passable scene. Okay, I'm going to leave part 2 here.